Ahoy! Mateys, welcome back to Yousaf Reacts. Today, we're setting sail on a swashbuckling adventure as we dive into the high seas with Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man's Chest, the epic 2006 installment of the beloved franchise. So, grab your compass and let's chart a course through this action-packed film. Released in 2006, Dead Man's Chest is the second film in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Directed by Gore Verbinski and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Our favorite rogue, Captain Jack Sparrow, played by the legendary Johnny Depp, returns with more witty one-liners and daring escapades. The plot kicks off with Will Turner, portrayed by Orlando Bloom, and Elizabeth Swann, played by Keira Knightley, who find themselves in a predicament when Jack's debt to the ghostly Davy Jones catches up with him. Davy Jones, masterfully brought to life by Nighy, is a menacing figure with a tentacle beard that haunts the seven seas. Davy Jones commands the Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship crewed by damned souls, and demands Jack's soul as payment for a pact they made. This sends Jack, Will, and Elizabeth on a quest to find the fabled Dead Man's Chest, which holds the heart of Davy Jones. Whoever possesses the heart controls Jones and the seas. The movie is a roller coaster of thrilling action sequences, breathtaking special effects, and humorous moments. One of the most memorable scenes is the three-way sword fight on a giant water wheel. The choreography and creativity in this sequence are top-notch, making it a fan-favorite moment. But it's not all about action. The film also delves into themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the consequences of one's choices. The dynamic between Jack, Will, and Elizabeth becomes even more complex, setting the stage for dramatic twists and turns. And let's not forget the phenomenal score by Hans Zimmer, which perfectly captures the adventurous spirit of the film. The music is as iconic as the characters themselves, adding to the overall epic feel of the movie. Despite its darker tone compared to the first film, Dead Man's Chest balances humor and heart, thanks to Johnny Depp's unforgettable performance as Jack Sparrow. His eccentric charm and unpredictability keep the audience engaged from start to finish. So, whether you're a long-time fan of the series or a newcomer, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest is a must-watch. It's a treasure trove of entertainment that continues to captivate audiences with its daring adventures and unforgettable characters. William and Elizabeth are sentenced to death for being in contact with Jack Sparrow. For saving Elizabeth, Will accepts to bring Jack's compass in exchange for his and Elizabeth's freedom. Meanwhile, Jack is being hunted by Davy Jones. Elizabeth escapes from prison to look for Will. Jack agrees to trade Will his compass if he finds a special key that will open a special chest. To find the key, Will goes aboard the Flying Dutchman, upon which he gets captured. He is reunited by his father on the Flying Dutchman. He finds the key and escapes the ship. Meanwhile, Jack gets Elizabeth to find the chest containing the heart of Davy Jones. Will and Elizabeth reunite on the island and open the chest and find the heart of Davy Jones. While Jack wants it to settle his debt to Jones, Will wants it to free his father and another person wants it for his own needs. Who is this mysterious person and what does he want to do with it? The wedding for Will Turner Orlando Bloom, a blacksmith turned pirate, and Elizabeth Swann Keira Knightley, Governor Swann's daughter, is disrupted with the arrival of Lord Cutler Beckett, Tom Hollander of the East India Trading Co., who has warrants to arrest the two and the ex-Commodore James Norrington, Jack Davenport, for helping Captain Jack Sparrow Johnny Depp to evade his hanging. Jack Sparrow is pirate captain of the Black Pearl. He is hunted by the Kraken because of his unpaid debt to Davy Jones. He is also searching for the Dead Man's Chest to free himself from Jones' servitude. Elizabeth is imprisoned, while Beckett negotiates with Will to locate Jack and retrieve his compass, which has the ability to point in the direction of what a person most desires. Beckett offers Jack a full pardon and a letter of marque, which would make Jack a privateer in the employ of England. At the same time, Jack Sparrow reveals to his crew on the Black Pearl that they are going to find a mysterious key. The crew is getting anxious since the Royal Navy is chasing them and Jack hasn't stolen anything valuable in ages. Jack convinces the crew that whatever the key unlocks is very valuable. Jack is approached by a reincarnated bootstrap Bill Turner Stellan Skarsgård, Will's long-deceased father, who reveals he is now part of the crew of the Flying Dutchman captained by Davy Jones Bill Nighy, and Jack must pay his debt to him. Jack had asked Jones to raise his ship Black Pearl from the depths and make him captain for 13 years, which Jones did, and now it is time for Jack to pay his debt, which is to serve on board Davy Jones's ship for 100 years. Bootstrap further tells Jack that the Kraken will be sent after him if he is unable to pay back. Davy Jones was once a human being. Unable to bear the pain of losing his true love, he carved out his heart and put it into the dead man's chest, then buried it in a secret location. He has become a bizarre creature, part octopus, part crab, part man, and collects the souls of dead or dying sailors to serve aboard his ship for 100 years. Will searches for Jack, eventually finding the Black Pearl on Pelegosto. Jack, Will and surviving crew members are on the island, where they were in the custody of cannibals. The Pelegosto believe that Jack is their god and they want to do him the honor of releasing him from his fleshy prison. The crew were kept in a cage made of bones, hanging over a deep crevice. Both Jack and the crew manage to escape and get to the Black Pearl. Will wants Jack to sail to Port Royal to secure Elizabeth's freedom, but Jack only agrees to help Will if he helps him secure the key. Jack steers the Black Pearl near the coastlines and away from the open ocean due to the fear of the Kraken. Elizabeth secures her release at gunpoint and is sent off by Beckett to offer letter of marque to Jack in return for the compass. Beckett says that Elizabeth can choose to save either Will or Jack, as there is only one pardon, but he wants the compass. Jack visit voodoo priestess Tia Dalma Naomie Harris, who tells them that the key unlocks the dead man's chest where Davy Jones' cut-out heart is hidden. The key is in possession of Jones. Tia also gives Jack a jar of dirt to protect him from Jones, since Jones is cursed to touch land only once every 10 years. Upon finding the Flying Dutchman, Jack sends Will aboard to settle his debt with Jones. Jack hoped that Jones would accept Will's soul as payment in exchange for his own. Jones refuses the offer and confronts Jack on the Black Pearl. Jack barters with Jones to free his debt if Jack can give 100 souls to Jones in 3 days. Jack even agrees to leave Will behind, a goodwill gesture and security that Jack will deliver on his promise. Will finds Bootstrap on the ship. Nobody knows the location of the key, so Will challenges Jones to a game of dice, waging his lifetime of servitude against the key. Jones is forced to show the key, which is kept on his person at all times. Bootstrap enters the game and loses the game of dice, but now Will knows the location of the key and is free to leave the ship. Will manages to steal the key from Jones while he is sleeping and escapes the ship with the promise to rescue Bootstrap. Jack and his crew stop in Tortuga, where Elizabeth and a drunken Norrington join them. Norrington wants to kill Jack but is too drunk to even shoot straight. Elizabeth wants to find Will, but Jack convinces her that finding the chest of Davy Jones is the quickest way to saving Will. Since Jack's heart is muddled, he reckons that the compass in hands of Elizabeth will give them a clear reading. Jack says that whoever controls the chest will control Davy Jones and hence saving Will, who is in Jones's custody. Jack and his first mate Joshua Gibbs Kevin McNally realize when Elizabeth tells them that Will is working for Beckett, that Beckett wants the compass to seek the chest and use Jones' heart to control him and destroy all piracy on the seas. Norrington asks Elizabeth to think about how Will ended up on Jones's ship. Will finds refuge on a trading ship, but it is destroyed by the Kraken. Will hides on the Flying Dutchman, where Jones decides to go after the chest and secure it. The Black Pearl sails to Isla Cruces, where the chest is buried, and Jack, Elizabeth and Norrington recover it. Will arrives with the key, planning to stab the heart to free his father, unaware that whoever stabs the heart becomes the next captain of the Flying Dutchman. Norrington wants the heart to regain his position in the Navy, while Jack is primarily interested in becoming immortal, able to sail the ocean waters for all time. Quickly, the argument about the heart's fate flares tempers, and a three-way sword fight breaks out between Jack, Will and Norrington. While Pintel Lee Ehrenberg and Rajetti Mackenzie Crook try to steal the chest, Jones' crew arrives on the island, forcing Elizabeth, Pintel and Rajetti to fight them together, causing the chest to be dropped. Jack unlocks the chest, finds the heart inside, and hides it in the jar of dirt Dalma gave him. Norrington spirits away the heart and the letters of mark, Jack believing the heart is still in the jar. The chest itself is retrieved by Davy's men and taken to the Flying Dutchman. Later, the Flying Dutchman attacks the Black Pearl, which escapes the Dutchman until then attacked by the Kraken. Jack tries to flee when he realizes that the heart is not in the jar, but returns to help defeat the Kraken, wounding it with an explosion, but the ship is heavily damaged and most of the crew are dead, leaving only Jack, Will, Elizabeth, Gibbs, Pintel, Rajetti, Cotton David Bailey and Marty Martin Kleba. Jack orders everyone to abandon ship, but Elizabeth, having realized that the Kraken is only after Jack and not the ship or crew, chains him to the mast to ensure everyone else's escape. Jack frees himself, but the Kraken rises up behind him. In a final act of defiance, Jack launches himself into the Kraken's maw, and the monster takes the pearl down to the depths, which Jones watches from his telescope. Jones then opens the chest to find the heart missing, which is delivered to Beckett by Norrington. The surviving members of the Black Pearl return to Dalma, who suggests they retrieve Jack from the afterlife, but recommends a captain who knows those waters. Then, to everyone's surprise, a resurrected Captain Barbosa Jeffrey Rush arrives, asking about the fate of his ship. This film is a little too long, and doesn't quite have the charm of the predecessor. But it is solid entertainment, with a good plot, and consistently good acting, as well as the whole production looking stunning. Johnny Depp is as lovable as always as Jack, and Keira Knightley is as lovely as ever. Orlando Bloom, while less charismatic than he was in the first movie, is still charming. Jonathan Pryce and Jack Davenport also delight, as does Stellan Skarsgård as Bootstrap Bill. But an unrecognizable Bill Nighy almost steals the show as the rather creepy Davy Jones. The special effects and the stunts were very impressive, especially with the very scary Kraken. So was the outstanding music score, and although the script lacks the sparkle of the predecessor, this is a resoundingly entertaining film nonetheless. Oh, and be prepared for a surprise at the end. 8/10 Bethany Cox. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow pirates. And don't forget to subscribe to Yousaf Reacts for more movie reviews and adventures on the high seas. Until next time, keep your compass pointed true and your spirits high. R.